This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Good afternoon and happy Fun Friday to you for all that celebrate here with the Meltdown. We're live with you on another edition of Meltdown Live. Weekdays, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your like. Thank you for your support, your chats, your comments, all of that. We have a jam-packed show for you today here in the Culver studio. I am Tim Melton. Joining me here, as always, I would say is EG, but EG is actually out today. We've replaced EG with Jeff. And, I mean, I don't want that to sound like a downgrade or anything. That's probably not.
Those are big shoes to fill.
Those are actually probably the tiniest shoes up here to fill, but... yeah, literally. But no, we're happy you're here, Jeff. And I just want to say, how are you? How are you doing?
Good.
Doing good? Yeah. It's always a fun time when you're in here. I constantly reference you when we're going through DVD boxes of things that I want to add to your collection because I know that they hit sort of your flavor profile.
Yeah, for sure.
And before you get out of here, you got to remind me, Smokey and the Bandit, the 3-movie trilogy on DVD. I got to get that to you.
Absolutely.
Why do you love those movies?
They're fun. They're fun to watch. The people seem like they had a great time making them. And that means a lot to me when I'm watching. I want to be entertained, and I want to know whoever made the movie had a good time making it.
You have a tough task later on, and Tyler has sort of matched your energy here because he's aware of what the Meltdown Countdown is, and he's got his own list, and I'm excited about that. But we have tasked you with coming up with sort of your 5 guilty pleasure horror movies, and this is upon the release of Final Destination Bloodlines, which is why I'm really kind of asking the question. We saw that movie yesterday. We've got our review coming up here shortly. But Tyler, I never got a chance to ask you, did you see the Weekend movie, the Hurry Up Tomorrow movie this week?
No, I didn't get a chance to see the early access, and I had thought about seeing the 10 o'clock screening last night, and I was just like, no, I'm too tired. I will fall asleep during that, so I'll see it tonight.
What's been the buzz on that? Do you know? Has it been positive, negative?
The Weekend missed again.
Jeez. For somebody who hits so much with their music, becoming the biggest artist in the world, basically, just has not translated over to either the small screen or the silver screen.
No, it hasn't. From what I've heard, it's another case of The Weeknd being super weird and having a girl all over him and just singing, and it just not being that good Weeknd that we miss.
But you're still going in open-minded. Maybe it'll blow you away. Maybe you'll be super happy, but it does look like a watered-down version of Smile 2 to me. But I didn't know if you'd seen it yet, but there we go with we'll have your Hurry Up Tomorrow reaction out there this weekend. I want to get your reaction, Jeff, to an event that you attended in Nashville. You went to the Metallica concert a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great.
Like, you have never seen Metallica perform live.
No, believe it or not, somehow I missed them since being a kid. I mean, love their music forever, but almost get to see them, not get to see them. So I finally got to see them. It was great. Bucket list moment.
So you're a fan, big fan. Nobody really had to twist your arm to go. But, I mean, just concerts in general, where are you on, there's some logistics there of having to, and their tickets ever since the pandemic have gone through the roof as well. Like, there's a million reasons to not go to a concert.
Absolutely.
And when you go to one and you're really happy that you went, that's always a telltale sign that you had a good time. But, I assume it was pretty packed house there. Is it Nissan Stadium, right?
Yeah, it was Nissan Stadium. And we were 40th yard line, 12th row, and there were still a lot of people between us and the band. I mean, we could see good, but, there was a lot of people there.
Well, it sounds like a good time there, and the weather held out for you, which is always good in sort of that outdoor venue and stuff. But, Tyler, bucket list concert to see Metallica?
Oh, I would love to see Metallica. I think they're on tour with the Pantera right now, or later this summer as well, and I'd love to see that show.
Yeah, we saw most of Pantera. We got there just a little bit late because of traffic, so we missed a little bit of Pantera. But then the guy I was there with, my friend and my coworker, he went back for the Saturday show, and Limp Bizkit was opening that night. But it rained almost all night, I think.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you got the best end of the deal.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. He said I went on the right night. So,
Jeff, there's something that I constantly think about. Sometimes I'm in the shower. Sometimes I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just I pass by you at a place that's full of neon carpet. Like a skating rink or something, okay? And I think of this question, and I've never really, I kind of want to get into the psychology of it just a little bit. You weren't prepared for this, but it's something that you are emotionally aware of because you live with it every day. You're a Terminator fan.
Yeah.
The state of the franchise.
It's bad.
It's rough.
It's been bad.
There have been super high highs as Terminator fans.
Yeah.
Like, I assume you remember vividly, like, seeing Terminator 2 and what that was like.
I saw Terminator 2. That was the first one. I didn't see Terminator before seeing Terminator 2. I had a couple of my cousins said, hey, we're going to go see Terminator 2. And I'm like, oh, what is that? They're like, oh, you got to go with us. I was like, well, I haven't seen the first one. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. And
Well, they were right.
yeah, sitting down there on the, like one of the front rows, watching that unfold and having no idea about anything. It was amazing.
Like, you'll never get that moment back of seeing
Yeah.
Terminator 2 for the first time. You
Yeah.
tried to replicate it, I think. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Tyler, you don't understand how big of a Terminator 2 fan he is. Like, he's thought about buying a complete, like, 3D sort of... What would
Yeah,
you be...
you were mentioning that before the show.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
explain this setup.
So a few years ago, James Cameron remastered Terminator 2 as a 3D movie. And I got tickets, and I mean, I got a bunch of tickets, and then like I almost had to like draft people to go see it with me, and we went to see it, and the theater it was, what's the one that just closed?
Lee Branch.
Yeah, it was at Lee Branch, and the first night go down there to watch it, and the audio was amazing, but we're like, I don't think this is in 3D. And so we kept watching. I was like, I don't think it's in 3D. And so after the movie's over, we go back up there, and I'm like, I don't think that movie was in 3D. And they're like, oh, yeah, we forgot to turn something on.
We wonder why they're a gym now.
Yeah. So they gave me all new tickets, and then I had to draft more people to go see the next showing with me. But I'm telling you, it was worth sitting through it half working. It was worth going back a second night. It was amazing. But there's no way to watch it now because 3D TVs aren't really a thing anymore. So I found out the other day, you can get the Japanese 3D remaster cut.
Yeah.
And you can get a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation VR headset, and you can be fully immersed in this Terminator 2 3D. And I kind of want to try it.
Fully immersed until somebody at the house needs you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Okay.
takes you right out of there.
Put my phone in.
As someone who already owns the PS5, which I'd argue is the most expensive part in that entire setup you would need, I support this idea.
Yeah. I don't think it works with a PS5.
You said
I think
it's gotta be a PS4.
Oh, it's got to be a PS4?
It's something about the region of the DVD and the VR. I don't know.
That was the crucial part in there. Yeah. Sorry, Tyler.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. You could fact check me on that, but that's what I read. So,
Can you imagine you get the whole thing set up with a PS5 and then it doesn't work?
yeah, that'd be pretty.
Oh, that would be
disappointing.
awful. What do you hope for the Terminator franchise? Do you hope it just like there's no more Terminator stuff, or do you secretly hope that they make? There's no more.
I mean, they're not going to not try, so I just hope that it's pretty good. I mean, I'm going to say that none of these sequels are without any good qualities except for Genesis, and I've tried to find something I like about that one, and other than they kind of recreated those scenes at the beginning of Terminator 2, I think that's kind of neat, but that movie is off the rails. It's almost unwatchable.
They've tried rebooting Terminator. It feels like a million
bunch,
times,
yeah.
really since Terminator 3.
Yeah.
Genesis was the one with Amelia Clark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that one was terrible.
Yeah, and I think it was the guy that played John Connor was the worst part of all. It was just he didn't make
He was
it.
terrible.
It wasn't right. But the other ones, they're not horrible. Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. It's a good popcorn movie. It's got a lot of action. If you're not looking for something deep or some real connection back to the other movies, it's pretty good. It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger. What was Salvation? Yeah, we talked about that the other day.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it's not a terrible movie. It almost could be called something besides Terminator and be a standalone movie on its own, but it's not bad.
I didn't hate it upon first viewing.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't watched it since.
Yeah.
But obviously, Christian Bale being in there didn't bring it down for me in any way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it had the guy from Avatar in there as well, right?
Right.
Sam
Sam
Worthington.
Yeah. He kind of stole the show, I felt like.
Yeah,
But
That's fine.
Genesis, I can't find anything to like about it. I've tried. Dark Fate, it's pretty good. It's not great.
They
It's not
heralded
terrible.
that as like the return.
Yeah, they did
James
hype it up
Cameron
a
was-
And
lot.
didn't they immediately kill John Connor?
They did, and I don't think that was a great creative choice.
Terminator fans, this one's for you.
Yeah,
Last Jedi.
he's
you know.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But the TV show, I mean, you can't talk about Terminator without talking about the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That TV show is great. It only ran for 2 seasons, And I didn't even know it was a thing until I think they'd already canceled the show. I mean, it was really a missed opportunity. It was a great show, and it just got killed too early.
Jeff has let me know if we ever pull out the Sarah Connor Chronicles out of one of these DVD boxes, we've got to get him that.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you about this. Like, you're also, when it comes to television, you're a massive fan of The Office.
Yeah.
Are you excited for this sequel? Not at all. Like, are you going to watch it?
I hope that it's not completely terrible.
It's called The Paper, right?
Yeah.
Paper.
Yeah. And they're going to, I think Oscar's coming back, and then maybe some of the other guys are going to do some guest appearances here and there. But I don't know, man. I love the old show. I watch the old show all the time. I watch those Superfan episodes on Peacock. I watch those over and over. Carl and I watch them all the time.
I'm starting to worry that the things you love were lightning in a bottle, like all of them. Like they
Yeah.
were all like of the time. Like you can't get back
That's
peak, Arnold Schwarzenegger to get him back in that
And that's
role.
that's what worries me about this Paper show. Like I don't know that the climate or the attitude of people making TV shows, like I just don't think it's the same as when The Office came out. And I found The Office kind of late. I think it had been running a season or two when I finally found it. But I mean, I love it. I watch it all the time, like the reruns.
Also, that's the thing. You don't need The Paper because if you want to watch The Office, you just watch The Office.
Yeah.
Like that's. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we shall see.
Netflix ran into a problem that way. They brought back that 70s show as that 90s show, and it ran for like a season and a half, and now it's canceled.
Full House became Fuller House at one
Yeah.
point on Netflix, and it's like, if I want to watch Full House, I'm just going to watch Full House.
Yeah,
I don't need to see the grandkids.
If history's any indicator, it's probably not going to be too much to write home about. But,
Like, that's
but
the
maybe
biggest-
it will. Maybe I'll be surprised.
It's weird because as fans, we understand the debate that a lot of people have of like, we're tired of the same properties being mined to death and all that stuff. But in the same sense, we're fans of these properties and we want good stuff from them. And we don't know if it's good or bad or not until we see it.
Yeah, it's like you're not going to not watch it, but I'm always looking at it going, man, I hope they don't mess this up too bad. I mean, just like the King of the Hill reboot, they just
On
released a
Hulu,
poster
right?
For that. I think so, but I just saw a poster for the reboot or the extension or whatever of that, and it's like, is it going to be good? We don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
But you got those reruns. You can always go back and watch those reruns, clean your palate.
That's correct. I want to talk about you being a father for a second.
Okay.
Okay. I was talking with your son, and he'd never seen any of the Star Wars movies. And I'm trying to figure out where you went wrong as a father. How did you never introduce to him Star
that group
Wars?
text did make me look pretty bad. I saw that. I think he just didn't remember because there's been so much water under the bridge. Well, we did watch him when he was young.
I don't know. I don't know who to believe here, but
Maybe we should get him on the show. We'll debate this.
maybe. But he's just now for the first time watching the original trilogy.
Yep.
And I kind of gave him a roadmap of how to go about the viewing order. And I had him watch Rogue One first, actually. So that way it would lead right into episode 4, then 5, then 6.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So he's made his way through Rogue One, episode 4, episode 5 at the very least. That's the last update I heard. And he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, after 6, buckle up because there's going to be some tonal changes for you.
Yeah.
But I haven't told him that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he's...
I think that's probably why he doesn't remember the other ones. There's just been so many crappy Star Wars movies over the years. Maybe crappy is too extreme. They're not bad movies, but they're just not great, and it's just watered down the whole Star Wars universe.
They're not tonally consistent.
Yeah.
And that can create some problems.
Yeah.
So
There's
anyway,
absolutely no return of... There are no Empire Strikes Back. None of them.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Revenge of the Sith got close.
Revenge of the Sith is really, really good.
And after that one,
Did you happen to catch the re-release of Revenge of the Sith?
I didn't. I really wanted to.
It was so good.
Yeah, I really wanted to, but I've been really busy with some other stuff going on, so I didn't make it. But yeah, I remember going to the theater to see Revenge of the Sith, and that was a memorable experience also.
Speaking of franchises with new entries, we've got to get right into our main topic today, which is Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, you have not seen this movie yet, Jeff. Tyler and I got a chance to see it yesterday, and I have my hope was to save this for the show when it comes to telling young Tyler here exactly what I felt about it. He already knows that I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah.
And I am not a Final Destination fan. This movie, could it be classified as a horror comedy? Kind of.
Yeah.
It could be. But it doesn't really go into full-on goofy territory.
Yeah.
Like it stays in that fun territory without going goofy.
Yeah.
I hate when horror movies go just absolute goofy. I feel like Terrifier, I approach it as it's fun, not goofy.
Yeah.
Like you know, the shower sequence in Terrifier 3, oh my gosh. It's like, it's still like it's a weird thing of if you're a horror fan, if you're a gore hound, you're having fun with the sequence, but it still takes it very seriously, like the actual approach to the sequence and stuff. And I feel like Final Destination Bloodlines does a wonderful job of setting things up and paying them off. And I have been overly critical, hypercritical of the marketing campaign showing us way too much.
Yeah.
Did not affect the movie experience for me one bit. And I thought it would, but there are certain decisions that are made on screen that I am blown away by how brilliant they are when it comes to Final Destination Bloodlines. I typically don't like the whole rat trap sort of horror movie setup where it's like, hey, one thing affects another thing and that thing affects another thing, and then it's going to come back into the main sequence of things.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the name for that is. What is
Rube
that?
Goldberg.
Rube Goldberg. Okay. That's
Rube
happened in this
Goldberg
studio.
device.
That's happened in this studio with that dang monkey that came in. The monkey's a great
Yes.
version of that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I say great version. I mean, a great example of that being implemented. This is so much better than the monkey. In my
Oh,
opinion.
wow. Okay.
Leaps and bounds better.
So
Yeah.
much better.
Okay. I really like the monkey. I didn't think I was going to like it because I don't really like a whole lot of gore, but it was all so over the top and silly that I was really entertained by that movie.
This is like at another level of like effectiveness, in my opinion. I'm glad the monkey came out first, because if the monkey had come out like a month from now, it'd make that movie look even way worse.
Oh, yeah.
So this movie's really good. Tyler, I've done all the talking and I apologize about that. Tell me a little bit with, we're not going to spoil anything for you if you plan on seeing it this weekend. Tell me why it worked for you, why you champion this movie the way you do, and sort of what your takeaway from seeing Final Destination Bloodlines was.
It was very fun, and it just took all the elements of Final Destination movies and just took it down to brass tacks and said, this is what the fans want. They want the wacky, over-the-top kills. They want characters that are actually somewhat likable and somewhat hateable in different parts of the movie. Instead of like parts 4 and 5, the characters are as unlikable as possible, and the deaths aren't that great either. But you get good deaths, good characters, and it builds on the lore of Final Destination in a really interesting way.
I agree.
And in a really rewarding way if you've watched every entry up into this point.
Which you have.
Which I have, yes.
Recently, too,
Yes.
a rewatch.
Yes, I binge-watched all of the Final Destination movies over the past week or so they're all very fresh on my mind. And, yeah, I thought it was also not just respectful of Tony Todd, but, like, reverent of Tony Todd. And it was a great final performance from him.
There's something that does frustrate me.
Good music choice as well.
Great music choice.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
Hunter's in the chat. A little bit softer now, a little bit softer now, a little bit softer now. Yeah.
so.
Great.
Shout is the song we're referencing, and there's a sequence of this movie that's set in the 50s. Clearly in the 50s. Clearly in the 50s. There's one thing that frustrates me, and you'll see it if you see the movie. This isn't a spoiler, but there's a character that's referencing that sequence.
Yeah.
And they're like, 50 years ago, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, 50 years ago was not the 50s. Like, what are you talking about 50 years ago?
Maybe for the original
I thought
movie.
it was supposed to be the 60s, but I don't know.
Look, to me, it looked clearly like late 50s. It may have been early 60s. Still not 50 years ago, Tyler. Doesn't matter either way. Still not 50 years ago. But anyway, I just that kind of stood out. Like, how do you have sequences laid out so perfectly and you miss like this overtly mathematical thing? That was a little frustrating. But anyway, the movie's really good. It's inventive. It is you never quite know exactly what's about to unfold. I like that. It's really smart. I'm impressed. I went in with really low expectations. I went in as like I'm on assignment to see this one, and it's my second favorite movie of the year. Okay. So I really, really was happy with it. So I would have Sinners number 1, and I would have Final Destination Bloodlines number 2. I think this is better than Drop. It has some of the same elements of that movie. This is better than The Monkey. It has some of the same elements of that movie. This is like a really, really strong, if not the best entry in the Final Destination franchise. If there's one Final Destination movie I'm going to put in and watch 5 years from now, it's going to be this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I think parts 1 and 2 have a lot of that like early 2000s cheesiness to it, and that's good to revisit sometimes. But as far as just being a quality horror movie, it's Bloodlines that's best in the franchise by far and away.
Yeah, it's really strong. I'm trying to see what it is. It's currently at a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 90% audience score. So I'm, if I was listening to myself 24 hours ago, I'd be like, okay, you're overhyping it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I had moments where I was verbally reacting to the things I was seeing.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of ohs and and then there was, people laughing out loud in my screening as well.
Correct. There was one sequence where people were just losing their mind laughing. And I remember what it was now off the top of my head. But that was a scene I believe they showed at CinemaCon. And there's a little bit of, there's some characters having a debate on screen, and it leads to a lot of laughs. At least it did in my theater. And my theater was packed out.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if yours was.
No.
Mine, I very rarely book the back row where there's 2 seats and don't have both seats access to. There's a guy sitting right next to me. Like, we were sharing an armrest, and I was like, here we go. When I got there, he had his popcorn and his phone in my seat, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to move. And you could tell he was kind of bummed to have to sit next to another human. But I was just as bummed. I want to be like, dude, I'm just as bummed you're here.
Yeah,
but it was
the
packed.
only thing you said that would make me not want to go see it. It's a huge crowd.
It was a huge crowd, and I think the movie's going to do really well. I think it's going to hold well. Obviously, it's got a lot of competition coming up over the next several weeks with summer season like really officially here. But this one's going to be able to, I think, hold pretty well because the word of mouth, people are going to be like, hey, man, have you seen this yet? It's really good. I thought it was fantastic. There's one sequence I don't like, and it's in the trailer, and it is the yard party sequence.
I wasn't a fan of that either.
It's the only thing I feel like they didn't absolutely nail because I
thought it was very tense, but it didn't really pay off in the way I wanted it to.
Every other part of the movie paid off, and that one felt more like, okay, we're getting through this. It's like, okay, we're going through the motions now.
Exactly.
And maybe that's what makes the rest of the movie so strong is that sequence feels like you're going through the motions. But I am a big fan of this movie. I would give it a 4 out of 5 upon first viewing. I love the first 20 minutes of this movie.
Okay.
Love. It's like one of my favorite sequences in horror movies of the past 5 years. It's the first 20 minutes of this movie. I thought it was really, really well set up. So anyway, Jeff, do you plan on watching Final Destination Bloodlines?
Yeah, you guys are selling it pretty good. I might try to drag your sister out this weekend and go see it.
I don't know if it will fit y'all's flavor profile fully, but I'm excited to get y'all's review and reaction. So send me your text when you're done.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Nick says, is that the one with the kids on the trampoline? Yeah, the yard party sequence that's in all the marketing. I just feel like that sequence doesn't have the level of payoff that all the other ones do. And I'm telling you, the other ones do.
The other larger sequence shown off in the trailers, the tattoo shop one, I thought that paid off a lot better in watching it in context.
I agree.
Than in just the trailer.
This is a film that does a wonderful job of subverting expectations.
Yes.
And I give them a golf clap for that. I mean, way to go. Yeah. I was really expecting to be able to sort of pinpoint the way this thing would fully sort of lay out, and I was so impressed with what they did here. Yeah. And look, a lot of it, when you're watching it, you're like, okay, that's computer generated, but it's still effectively computer generated. Yeah. Like, these movies, you don't go in there for the wonderful visual design of the movies. Like Final Destination movies, you go in for the kills.
Yeah, especially like at the very end.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. There's some things visually that, like, they're like, okay, I mean, they don't look wonderful, but it works in the context of the movie. And that's what I'll say. So I can't give this like a 5 out of 5 because it's not a perfect movie by any means. It's a 4 that's probably maybe a little bit closer to a 3.5, but I'm really high on it, and I'm like at a 4 right now. And I think a lot of that is based on the fact that there's been so little to actually get excited about at the movies too.
Yeah.
But I still feel like 5 years from now, this is the Final Destination I'm putting in and I'm watching. So and by putting the Final Destination in, I mean that I will, potentially own this on physical media at some point. I don't know.
Okay.
I've got to let it sit with me. But if there's one more slight gripe, and then I'll move on with Final Destination, Bloodlines, is that sometimes in the movie they flash back and show kills again that have already happened, and you just witnessed them, and I don't feel like they needed to do that.
Gotcha.
I feel like it actually watered down the shock of the kill, the fact that they show you a different angle of it again, and it's like, I didn't need that. I would have rather just watch it, and that hurts me in wanting to go see it a second time, because I basically was able to watch it a second time the first time, because they sort of replay some of the highlights. It's almost like it's a sports play, and it's like, okay, let's show you from a different angle, and it's like,
Well, it's always been like that in Final Destination.
fair, which is why I'm not a fan of the Final Destination franchise. Thank you, sir.
We're 6 movies in.
I know. Well, that should say something.
Yeah, it does.
I don't like the Final Destination franchise, and I really, really like this movie.
And this is the 6th one. I mean, that's a pretty huge pull off.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Here we go. Meltdown Countdown goes right into the same vein.
Yeah.
I have tasked you, Jeff. Jeff, you are a fan of awful movies, and I've tasked you.
I am.
But
especially horror movies.
Unapologetically awful movies, like that people
absolutely.
know. These are bad.
Yes.
I've given you the task of guilty pleasure horror movies, and it's because every third time I'm around you, you talk about this god-awful movie that you forced me to watch called Chopping Mall.
That was, when I first told you to watch that was kind of a prank, and I'm pretty bad about doing that. So people that I tell they should watch movies, they never know, am I like messing with them, or should they really watch it? Especially you now. I know you got to be gun shop. I'll tell you to watch a movie.
Yeah, no, so there was this movie last year that came out called Caddo Lake.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I really liked that movie though.
Yeah, okay. Well, Jeff messages me, hey man, stop what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, stop it. Don't ask me any questions. Don't look anything up. Right now, get on a device somewhere in your reach and watch Caddo Lake. And it's just go in blind. It's on HBO Max. I can say that now because it is called HBO Max again. And it's just going to blow your mind. And
I called it Max today on viewing menu.
Can't do that anymore.
Yeah. I apologize.
HBO Max. And
HBO Max has The Brutalist today.
Really?
Yep. It's on viewing menu.
I can't think of a movie that Jeff would enjoy less than The Brutalist.
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah, that's actually the opposite of Chopping Mall.
All right. I know you very well. You would hate The Brutalist, but he's telling me you got to watch this Caddo Lake. So I do that. I literally, it's like I had gotten a Mission Impossible mission on my phone. Like, this message will self-destruct. And I went and watched it, and I hated it. I mean, I really hated it. But I gave it a good effort, but I hated it. And I thought it was like a joke. I thought you were playing a prank.
I was not. You said the same thing. I told you to watch Chop 'Em All once, and you said the same thing after I told you to watch Caddo Lake. You said, why did you make me do that?
Yeah. Why'd you make me do that? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
And I was half kidding about Chop 'Em All. I mean,
but it actually hurt Jeff when I said, like, Caddo Lake was awful. I hated it.
Yeah,
It kind of hurt you.
It hit the right notes with me. I don't know. Maybe it's not that great of a movie, but there's something about it. It had time travel in it. It was
well,
I enjoyed it.
Because of your obsession with Chopping Mall, which is about killer robots that are like secret, their security.
It is a terrible movie. Yeah,
terrible movie.
It's if you took Short Circuit, Mannequin, and Terminator, and kind of pulled all those ideas together with a real low budget.
Real low budget.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's
rough.
Yeah.
But you champion this movie as a guilty pleasure horror movie.
It's entertaining, and it's. I watched it last night just so I could be refreshed. It's only an hour and 15 minutes, so you get in, you get out, you get your junk food movie, and you're done.
You and Tyler are very similar in that when I give you guys a Meltdown countdown, and then I give you a parameter of something you can't do in it, y'all both give me the same expression, which is. Like, really?
No, I
like that's totally where I was going, or I can't.
Well, no, when you said it get its own discussion, I was like, oh, that'll be fine too. Then I can come up with 5 more.
It's its own discussion, but I didn't. Chopping Mall would have been number 1 on your list, most likely.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's bad, but it's fun.
It has inspired the list, meaning it can't be on there. So we're going to start off with number 5 of guilty pleasure horror movies. Where are we starting here?
I think at the start we're going to go with Waxwork.
Tell me more. Is this like House of Wax?
No, it's more fun. You know, I like the remake of House of Wax. It's kind of uncomfortable, but I like that movie. But Waxwork is
Paris Hilton's in that movie.
Yeah. That scene where they cut the finger off or whatever through the grate, the manhole or whatever. Ugh. But no, Waxwork is almost like kind of borders on horror and fantasy type movie. So these guys go to this wax museum, and I
got a great poster, by the way.
Yeah,
that's a good looking
I'm
poster.
sure it does. But and I don't know the exact premise and all this. Again, it's been a minute. Yep. So they go to this wax museum, and they don't all go at one time, but they get in there and they like step over the ropes into the exhibit, and they get pulled into it. And there's all kinds of different, wax exhibits, and like one of them has some vampires, and I forget but it's good. I mean, it's a fun watch. And
stop on by and give Afterlife a try.
Yeah.
Waxwork, more fun than a barrel of mummies.
Oh, if anybody wants to watch it, it's on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Plex, and Freevee.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
sounds like good places.
if you want to watch Waxwork,
I have questions here based on this poster alone, but
it's not going to win any Oscars, but you'll be entertained, I think. Or I always am.
yeah, that's what this is supposed to be. But I'm not seeing any big stars in this movie.
No, it's a lot of these are like that on this list.
This is great on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
The script for the film was written in 3 days.
yeah. So, Shopping Mall is like that. There's not a lot of well-known people in it, although the guy from the Gremlins gets off in Shopping Mall pretty quickly, and I thought that was pretty ironic because there's always technology and
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It does say this is one of I really enjoy this movie that it references. Initially, there were concerns that the film would be too similar to The Monster Squad, which came out the year before.
Yeah. I like that movie too.
I love The Monster Squad. Wolfman's got nards.
I guess I can kind of see that because there's all this big variety of different characters in it,
Yeah.
The vampires, I want to say, are more prevalent, but it's all over the place. Entertaining, though.
Vampires obviously rely on their teeth. I want to talk about my dental squad, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
My dental squad, that is Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan. That's how I have them saved in my phone. The dental squad right there with those three guys. They're over at Alabama Dental Associates located on Grants Mill Road, and they're going to take care of you when it comes to all of your dental hygiene needs. Maybe you have some pain that you're going through, and you keep putting it off because you're like, look, I mean, maybe it'll go away. Maybe it'll just go away. I'll eat on the other side of my mouth. I'll do something different. I'll use salt water every night or something like that to make the pain sort of numb down. There's no reason to do that. Don't live in pain. Go see Alabama Dental Associates. They are going to give you the honest answers that you're looking for, of maybe why you're experiencing what you're experiencing there with any sort of dental issues. They also can go ahead and get you on top of those regular cleanings to help prevent those dental issues before they happen. They're accepting new patients now, and they'd love to chat with you at 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. They are open here on a Friday. They're open on a Saturday, so don't worry about your schedule being something that's way too busy to work in a dental appointment. It's way too important to kick that can down the road. Go check out alabamadental.com. Okay, let's move on to number 4.
All right. So this is another one that you probably have never heard of unless I mentioned it already, and it's called Deadly Friend.
Tell me more.
Well, it's Wes Craven. So, I mean, you would think you would have heard of it, but it's not, but you haven't. So, the premise basically is this guy moves into town and he's built a robot, and the robot's got a violent side. And
Shocker.
Yeah. And he moves into the new town, and the neighbor, who is Christy Swanson, has an abusive father. And they figure that out. And they've also got the neighbor from the Goonies, who's the old lady, then the villain, the Fratelli mother.
Yes.
Okay, so she's the neighbor. She's real mean. She takes their basketball. The robots want to kill her. Meanwhile, the Christy Swanson's still getting abused, and finally, the dad ends up knocking her down the steps, and she's like in a coma.
I can't show our audience there, but that is like that robot was victorious in getting that basketball back.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with that robot.
Oh my gosh.
He might look like a Simon Says or a Follow Me or whatever, but he's for real.
That right there has me wanting to watch this thing.
And he makes noises like Gremlin or something. Like, I mean, you got to see it to even believe it. That's why it's on this list. But anyway, so she's in the coma, and they're basically, she's not in a coma. She's basically like brain dead, and she's on life support. Okay. And so the kid with the robot and his friend, he talks his friend into helping him. And there's some other setup to this that doesn't really matter, but they break into the hospital, they steal her, but she's been off life support, so she's technically dead. They put the robot's brain. Oh yeah. God, I'm screwing this up so bad. So Fratelli kills the robot. Like, she shoots it with a shotgun. So the robot's dead. Then the friend gets abused and knocked down the steps. And so they break in, get her body, put the robot's brain in her body. And then shenanigans ensue. I won't spoil the rest of it.
Well, man, you're selling this harder than we sold Final Destination Bloodlines. This is good stuff. What was going on in the 80s? I'm just curious. I wasn't really around for a lot of it.
You know, I never watched a horror movie, and I really didn't know much about horror movies at all until I started hanging out with your sister Carla, and she's kind of an encyclopedia of horror, so she knows all these. I'd say everything on this list I probably found through her. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you weren't like seeing these in their first run or anything?
I would not watch horror movies as a kid. I was too scared. I just watched dumb comedies. That was it.
And now you watch horror movies that are also classified as dumb comedies.
Yeah,
okay.
that's my sweet spot. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Number 3.
All right, so number 3 you probably have heard of. That's going to be Christine, which was about the car. You know, Stephen King, and another movie he didn't like the movie version of his.
Shocker. Those are typically the best ones, actually.
Yeah, and it's got some pretty well known people, and is it Mary Catherine Stewart or Catherine Mary Stewart? She was kind of big in the 80s. She's in that. And then the guy that's got the car.
Let's see, we got Keith Gordon, John Stockwell, Alexandra Paul, William Ostrander, Kelly Preston, Harry Dean Stanton, and some other people.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a pretty good cast there. But the car is really what sells that one for me. I mean, this is
the first one that you've thrown out that I've seen. I've seen
same
Christine.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no CGI in that movie, but the way the car transforms is just, I think it's really cool. And
that is really
cool. I'm
cool.
a car guy, so it's more than that. I don't want to say that that's the only reason to watch that movie, but the car is a good reason to watch it. But there's it's pretty creepy, and like the way, again, I can't think of the main guy's name, but he just kind of transforms through the movie, and you can see it. I think they do a good job, because he's just like a kind of nice.
Character's name's Arnie.
Yeah, Arnie. That's right. Yeah. So Arnie's like this kind of nice, nerdy guy at the beginning, but time the thing's over with, he's like evil, like the robot and Deadly Friend. So
I actually think this movie's kind of primed for a remake, but with and I don't want Blumhouse anywhere near this, but like with a smart car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I've seen something about they've been talking about remaking it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how serious they are.
Let's get Timothée Chalamet in there to play Arnie and get this thing working.
I can see that. But just don't make it a musical.
No. All right, let's move on. Number 2 of guilty pleasure horror movies on your list.
All right, so number 2, I'm going to go with Phantasm. You seen that one?
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Have you seen it, Tyler?
I have not.
So that one's hard to
Good
describe.
choice.
Yeah, it's. And a couple of these I had to look. I was like, "Hey, is this a classic or is it a guilty pleasure?" And they were like, "Nah, it's probably cult guilty pleasure." And it might be not a lot of other people have heard of it, but it's a very creepy movie. It's basically about this mortuary where this guy that runs it's not even human. And I feel like if I start trying to describe it any more than that, it might not make any sense because it's kind of all over the place too. And they're made I think there's 3 or 4 sequels to this movie.
It's got some great practical effects in it.
Yeah, the effects are good. And just the whole vibe of it.
Creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, you feel creepy watching it.
Yeah. Good old man performance in there as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
good hair that makes you go like, oh, I want to know more about this.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a cool car in it too. So.
Yeah. Phantasm. Did you ever see the sequel? Wasn't there a sequel?
I think I've seen all the sequels. They'll all pop up on streaming, but they never pop up at the same service at the same time.
Any idea how many of them there are?
There is at least 4 Phantasm movies, maybe 5.
Okay. For some reason, I didn't know it went that far.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I mean, I think the first couple, it's almost like some of the other ones. You know, they're pretty strong. The first couple, not as good as the original, but not terrible, and then they kind of fall off.
All right. We are now moving on. I believe we are at. Are we at the number 1 spot?
We might be.
I think we are.
I'm kind of questioning the order of these now. But I like them all. So, but this one is good. It's got a lot of rewatchability. It's 13 Ghosts. Oh no,
I don't like that movie.
Don't like it.
I didn't the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
I believe this came out in 2000. The year 2000.
Right around there. Yeah,
It was either 2000 or 2003. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I was going to say 99 or 2000, but yeah, it's
I think it was
around
2000.
that era.
Let me see. But no, it was 2003. No, I'm wrong. Hold on. Sorry. 13 Ghosts, 2001.
Yeah.
2001.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
No, I remember. Look, is this one my sister forced you to watch that you loved?
This might be one of the only ones on the list that I actually saw before her.
All right. I think she's the one that got me to watch this movie.
Yeah, we watch it like every Halloween. We watch it because we're both big fans of it, and I really like Matthew Lillard, so that may be why I have a soft spot for it. But it's just all the machinery and the house, the way the house does the transforming thing.
It's got a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow. I mean, I'm not saying that that's low, but I remember I did not like it the first time I saw it. Tony Shalhoub is in this.
Yep. And I like him too. So I like all the characters in it. There's a lot of people that went on to do other movies, and then the kills are pretty violent, and they may have used CGI in it. I'm not sure, but I just think they're kind of cool. I think the house is cool, and the ghosts in the house are cool.
The film was considered this is not to undo your. I'm just reading this.
Yeah.
The film was considered a box office disappointment, grossing $68 million on a $42 million budget. Received generally negative reviews from critics for its lack of scares and editing, though the production design was praised. Years after its release, the film garnered a cult following.
Okay.
So you're part of the 13
I guess so, yeah.
Ghost cult following there.
There was a book series that somebody in Alabama wrote called 13 Ghosts and Jeffrey that when Carl and I were kids and, elementary school, it was a big thing. Like there was a bunch of different books with that title, a bunch of sequels, I guess. So maybe that's also why it's like, that title kind of rings with me.
It says here in 2023, Dark Castle Entertainment announced a television adaptation. So I don't know if that's something you would be interested in and if it ever sees the light of day. But we shall see. But what's funny here is we started off talking about the movie House of Wax.
Yeah.
In 2010, it was released in a double feature with House of Wax that you could buy on Blu-ray that had both movies associated with it.
Okay.
So,
same company or something?
yeah, if we ever pull out the Blu-ray that has 13 Ghosts and House of Wax on it, it's going to Jeff. All right, good stuff there. A special collector's edition Blu-ray was released by Shout Factory under their Scream Factory label in July of 2020. The new release features brand new interviews with cast and crew, plus a brand new audio commentary with director Steve Beck. So, 13 Ghosts. Maybe I'll have to revisit it. Maybe I was too harsh on it the first time around.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of have my own taste in movies, so it's...
As long as it's no Caddo Lake. Okay.
I don't think there's any time travel in it.
Tyler was so inspired by this assignment, he came up with his own list. He's also got honorable mentions. Yeah. So we have a number of more guilty pleasure horror movies to get to. Tyler, run through the list. I'm going to let you go the whole way through.
All right. Honorable mentions. Starting off, House of the Dead, directed by Uwe Boll. This is considered one of the worst movies of all time. I believe it holds a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
I was a big fan of the House of the Dead video games.
I played the video game. I haven't watched the movie, so.
Yeah, the video game is the only reason I watched this movie, and boy, it is terrible. It is absolutely terrible, but I love how goofy Uwe Boll is, and I'm looking forward to The Dark Knight, or whatever he's calling it now.
I think now it's called Citizen Vigilante.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's kind of smart for them to do that, to name it something that they knew they couldn't keep, so that way we constantly refer to the new name of it.
Yeah.
It's Kind of brilliant, actually, the more I think about it.
It really is, because there's no shot anyone else would be keeping up with what Uwe Boll's doing.
That is one of my most anticipated out of the theater reactions that you're going to do is for that movie, Citizen Vigilante.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
It's got a good chance for it to start, like, actual beef between me and Uwe Boll.
And Armie Hammer probably getting in there, too. Okay, so you have more honorable mentions, or that's it?
So, next honorable mention, just missing the cut, another terrible, terrible horror movie, The Wicker Man, 2006, starring Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
How to get burned, how to get burned, how to get burned.
And
Not the bees.
I had a friend that was a huge Wicker Man fan, and he hated that movie, Nicolas Cage adaptation.
It's something.
It's awful. Is what it is.
That's rough. I'm not sure that's even enjoyable to sit through, but what else you got for us?
Number 5 on my list, starting off the actual guilty pleasure. It's Unfriended from Blumhouse.
Ooh.
It was made for about $1 million, and they dumped $10 million into marketing. It's all filmed in one house over Skype, and basically these friends get together on a Skype call, and this strange user keeps popping into the call, and there's like a backstory between that user and the friend group, and I think it's kind of underrated, because even though it's not very good, and I think it works as better background noise, it did kind of start the whole screen life subgenre in horror movies.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I've seen, isn't there a movie called Lost and then a sequel called Found that are kind of like that, where they're showing screens?
I think so.
I don't think I've seen Unfriended, though. I might have to check that out.
Yeah, there's a number of different movies in this subgenre, but I believe Unfriended is the first movie I watched in my home.
Okay.
Like, we got our home in 2016,
Oh, yeah.
and this movie was, what year did this movie come out?
Like 2014?
Yeah.
Ish.
2014, something like that. But it was
2015,
available to
somewhere
watch on whatever free service we had while I was waiting for cable to get installed or
Yeah.
something, or whatever it was happening at the time before internet. And I don't know. Somehow I had it.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was like, okay, that was in this empty house watching this movie. It was kind of fun. It's kind of a fun little guilty pleasure movie. All right, what else you got for us?
Moving on, number 4. This sort of represents the found footage fan in me. VHS.
I tried watching this. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, the sequels aren't great, and the original isn't the best either. It just has that feeling of, like when you get on the school bus in the morning and one of the older kids says, "Hey, look at this." That's the kind of feeling VHS gives you.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. It kind of, I think when it came out, it reminded me of The Ring, like kind of a feel like that. So I skipped it. But
It's a great title for a movie.
Yeah.
VHS. I mean, it like immediately makes you go like, oh, okay.
yeah,
I'm intrigued by that. It's got an aura around it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of horror movies today in their marketing are going back to that sort of VHS sort of feel and
Yeah.
look to them.
Well, if you go through the crew of VHS, you'll find that a lot of the people who directed and worked on those different shorts in VHS are working on feature-length stuff now. You got the Radio Silence team, Ty West worked on VHS, and some other names as well.
It's got a pedigree there for sure. All right, let's continue on. You're at number 3 now.
Number 3, this is the movie that got me back into horror movies after I saw Saw for the first time and couldn't do anything scary after that for a while.
Yeah.
Jason X.
Oh. I hate this movie.
that's probably more disappointing than any of mine for you.
I hate this movie. I don't love it. There's one great kill in it.
But you got a Friday the 13th hoodie on, Tim.
I know.
Don't you love that I put a Friday the 13th movie in this?
Oh no, him and Carlo, they're pretty hard on those later sequels.
I'm going to be honest, okay? I love the Jason character. Not sure I can tell you there's very many good Jason movies. Yeah.
That's fair.
It is the character I love the most with the worst movies. Does that make sense?
Not completely unlike the Terminator.
Yeah, that's fair. Except you got Terminator 2. What does Jason have?
Right.
What's like peak Jason? Friday 13th Part 3?
Maybe.
Where he gets the mask for the first time?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of hard getting
Part
people
4
in.
with Corey Feldman. And he shaves his head to distract Jason.
I like
he goes,
part-
"Oh, look at me."
I like part 6. There's like, it's hard to get people into Friday the 13th too, because the first movie, it's like Jason's not even really a factor. And then the second one, he's wearing a bag over his head the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, my sister, your wife, she just laughs the whole time in Friday the 13th part 2. Oh, here's Jason with the bag head again.
Yeah.
And I'll show up.
That's pillowcase Jason, right? That's what she
Pillowcase
calls him.
Jason.
Yeah.
That's what she calls him.
Yep.
And if I ever show up with the actual hockey mask on, she's like, "Why aren't you wearing the pillowcase? That was the best one." And I'm like, okay, this is ruining my vibe. So anyway, yeah, Friday the 13th movies kind of suck. I'm just going to be completely
Like the
transparent.
idea of it's better than the actual movies.
Like the best Friday the 13th movies still suck.
Yeah.
And like the whole series is a guilty pleasure for me
Yeah.
because they all are not good movies.
I would not disagree with that statement.
They're not good movies, but it's a great character
Yeah.
in really bad movies. Anyway, sorry, Jason X is maybe the one I would be least likely to watch because I don't like space. For the most part, I don't like space movies. Aliens kind of changed that for me, but especially with Alien Romulus. But
So would you say you like him better in New York than space?
I actually do.
How about in hell?
I'll take him anywhere but space.
Or versus Freddy?
Oh, look,
We could make a Dr. Seuss book here.
I have a. That would be like maybe number one on my guilty pleasure movies is Freddy vs. Jason.
I like that movie.
I thought about having that one in this list instead of Jason X, but because I am more likely to revisit Freddy versus Jason over Jason X, but I just like the story behind Jason X that I have.
I figured out that I do a pretty good Freddy Krueger impression,
Okay.
but I cannot do it without saying the B word. Like it has to be.
Well, of course.
Like it's, shut up, bitch. You know, like I have to say. I should have given a warning that I'm about to yell the B word, but like, go to sleep, bitch. You know. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. Let's move on. What's next, Tyler?
Number 2, just missing out on that top spot. It's a movie up on the big board.
Okay.
Return of the Living Dead.
I was hoping it was Deep Blue Sea. That would also be on my list. Yeah, Return of the Living Dead. It's over there in Tyler's corner. We will never get it.
No, we will not. Unless I go out and buy a copy of it. We will
Sneak it into one of these boxes.
Yeah, we will not pull it from a box.
Is that the one that's like there's a high school involved or something and
So
toxic waste or something?
Yeah. This kid gets a job at the toxic waste dump, and that's where the zombie outbreak starts. And you've got the Tar Man, and it's also the first instance of zombies in a movie saying they're hungry for brains, specifically.
My junior high friends loved that movie, but again, I didn't watch scary movies, so I didn't touch it.
Yeah, this one's like weirdly funny. It's a bunch of just dumb punk teenagers hanging out in a cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've at least seen clips from it, but I do remember when it first came out, I was like, I'm not watching that.
You love this movie, but it's only number 2 on your list?
Yes, it is. And now that I wouldn't say number 1 on my list is my guiltiest pleasure, because I also wanted to cut out as many like bigger movies and bigger franchises as I could. Like the Final Destination franchise would have made this list. All of the Texas Chainsaw like sequels and remakes and reboots. Those are terrible, but I love them.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I love them. I even like the one with Alexandra Daddario where she's Leatherface's cousin and they team up at the end.
I don't think I've seen that.
Real quick, Jeff. The Leatherface movies suck for the most part. Almost all of them. The best thing about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise is Jessica Biel's blue jeans. Anyway, that's the truth. That's the truth.
I mean,
You're a red-blooded American male. You agree, and I know you do. But that's not really what I was going to ask you. What I was going to ask you was, like, on the Mount Rushmore of horror movie icons,
Yeah.
you got Michael Myers up there.
Yeah.
You got Jason up there.
Yeah.
You got Freddy up there.
Right.
Who's that fourth spot? Like, I feel like that's always the debate. And Tyler would go Leatherface, I believe.
100%.
I think that would not be a bad choice.
Is that who you would actually go with? Ghostface?
Oh yeah, that would be tough.
Chucky?
Yeah. You know, I love the Scream franchise, so I'd probably go with Ghostface.
I mean, it's a stronger franchise now.
But I think Leatherface or Chucky would be acceptable.
The robot from Chopping Mall? No.
Yeah, I mean-
yeah, sorry. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of a debate there, and you know, who knows how long before Art the Clown is really looked at as that fourth
Yeah.
sort of choice because it's become way more mainstream.
Yeah, Carla likes those, and she's watched I think all of them. It's a little too much for me though.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. Just when you think it's over, 5 more minutes of them playing around with the carnage.
I think I have the same problems with it as I had with Saw. I was just like, it's just too much.
Yeah, and each one has to outdo the other.
Yeah.
But number one on your list is officially out there.
Number one is all of the Puniverse movies and related movies like that. All of the we're gonna make a public domain slasher movie.
What's the next one that's coming out?
I think Bambi: The Reckoning is supposed to come out very soon.
Come on.
Let's see. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare came out earlier this year, and gosh, what's the other
You're
one?
not gonna leave any out for sure.
You know what I said? Like I like silly fun, sort of, but I don't like goofy. I don't like.
Oh, speaking, I saw Scream Boat.
Yeah, I've got that one teed up to watch. I haven't watched it yet, but then I haven't seen any of the rest of them. Just looked like not all that appealing to me. But that Screamboat, the way you said the puns and things, I'm like, I feel like I need to check that out. So.
Okay.
So what's the next Puniverse movie? Hang on. Bambi: The Reckoning is July 5th or July 25th rather. Pinocchio Unstrung later this year, and then next year, Puniverse Monsters Assemble.
I mean, you gotta appreciate the
Cash grab.
cash grab. Yeah, I was gonna say business acumen, but cash grab's probably more accurate.
Did Screamboat make money?
I assume so because the budget for that had to be like $2 and lunch.
I just never saw a reporting of how much it made.
Let me check it out.
Anyway, okay. I've got to get into, while Tyler does his research on that, what I think may be one of my most anticipated segments.
$390,000.
Yep. And you were responsible for part of that.
I need to see what the budget was.
I don't know. I thought that was the budget.
No, that's how much it made.
Yeah, the budget was probably a trip to Disney World.
No, I'm probably.
Budget was $2 million. Wow. I imagine most of that went to David Howard Thornton and Q from Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, that's a movie that's going to have to do a lot of digital sales to be able to sort of close the gap and become profitable. And I don't think that was the case. Remember, theaters get half of it.
Yeah, and see, that would have been a movie that did well on DVD.
Yeah, but the DVD business, like we've sort of pointed out.
DVD rental, more likely.
Yeah. It's one of those movies you see the cover art and you're like, well, I got to check this out. And you don't really have that happen too often now. I want to play an edition of Pick Your Picture, which we've done. I really like to play Pick Your Picture when you're in that seat. And what I typically do is give you the situation where you are being forced into a movie theater and you can only watch one of these.
Okay.
And I'm going to do a twist on it this time. I'm going to give you 2 movies that you have not seen each time, and you're going to tell me which one you think will be the better movie. Okay?
Okay.
Which one of these you think will be the better film to watch? If you don't know what one of these films are, you can ask, like, hey, what's this? We'll have a little conversation about it. But I'm going to give you this. Here we go. We're going to start with this. Which movie do you feel like will be better? Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning or Ballerina? Ooh. Which movie will be better? Like, which one will you personally enjoy more? Tyler, it looks like you're ready to respond.
Ballerina.
One of your most anticipated of the year.
Yeah.
It's one of my most anticipated of the year as well.
I was going to say Ballerina before you guys spoke up too. So
I don't know why I'm so in the hype of Mission Impossible right now. I think I'm just falling victim to the PR campaign. I think I am literally falling victim to it because it's probably going to underwhelm me in some aspect. But I'm really hyped for it. And
yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I think it's going to be entertaining. But
we're less than a week away.
Yeah, I feel like Ballerina's going to bring it though. So
I agree. Gosh, if I had to choose here of which one I think I will say is the better movie, right now I'm going to go Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, but I'm probably going to eat those words.
We shall see.
We shall see. Okay, next. Which one of these will be the better movie? In Pick Your Picture, is it Superman or The Fantastic Four: First Steps? Which will be the better movie?
I think I personally will probably enjoy Superman better, but I mean, they both look pretty appealing. But I've been more wowed with the trailer stuff for Superman.
You'll be watching both?
Yes, I will watch both.
Okay.
Ooh. So I like the trailers for both.
In our lifetime, there has not been a good one of either one of these properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four don't have a dog, so.
They both come out a couple of weeks apart. Which one do you think's the
point there, Jeff?
Jeez, Jeff, swaying the dog voters of America.
No, I think Fantastic Four, it has a lower ceiling for me because it's confined to an already established MCU formula, whereas this is Superman is establishing the DCU, so it can go anywhere. So I'm going to go Superman.
Going Superman will be the better movie of the
I feel
two.
like I've personally been burned by more bad Fantastic Four movies than Superman movies. So.
Same, kind of. I mean, Man of Steel I hated from the get.
See,
Batman
I
v
liked
Superman.
it, so
Batman v Superman was a huge letdown.
that movie was way too long. I didn't hate it, but I think I had to split it up in like 2 nights or something.
But like, I didn't even watch the Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan Fantastic Four movie.
I didn't watch it either, and that's because I got burned so bad by the first Fox outing of it with the Jessica Alba one, and then Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, they're all
terrible.
really bad.
Yeah, it just seemed like it had so much potential, but they didn't pull it off. And then didn't somebody make the movie to keep the rights of the property that really never got released or something?
I actually think it was the Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan one. Like they had to do something with it, or they were going to lose the rights.
I think they did it before that, though. I think they did that like back in the like early 2000s or 90s, maybe.
They may have done it multiple times.
And they squashed the release of it, so I don't think it was even really easy.
Is that the one we pulled from the mystery box?
Possible.
Might have been.
Maybe they did it with all those characters because I think there's a Captain America one and all that stuff. But anyway, we're all on Superman there, I think, as being the movie we'll enjoy more out of the two. Okay, next. Jurassic World Rebirth or How to Train Your Dragon. Which one of those two movies do you think you will personally enjoy more?
I think Jurassic Park's, I have very low expectations for it, but I'd probably rather see that just because it's got dinosaurs.
I think every Jurassic World movie that's come out, it doesn't matter how long we have or haven't talked to one another. Yeah. I think you hit me up every single time going, hey, want to go see the new dinosaur movie? Like you get giddy for these things.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of like with Terminator. I mean, I had an amazing experience the first time I saw Jurassic Park. And
you've never been able to replicate it.
Never been, always trying. And I may have mentioned this on the show before, but I remember, I think I went to see it with my mother, and we were sitting there watching Jurassic Park play out, and all these people brought their little kids with them. And the dinosaurs start eating people.
This ain't Herbie.
Everybody flips out and starts leaving with their kids like they're surprised. Mm-hmm. And that was as entertaining as the movie. And the movie was very entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, back then.
It's right behind you, actually.
Yeah.
It's right over your shoulder. Can you believe Brown's never seen Jurassic Park? Anyway, we won't get into that.
Yes, I do believe it.
Yeah. He keeps teasing he's going to watch it. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
He is not going to do that.
Tyler, which one of these two movies do you think will personally be better, Jurassic World Rebirth or How to Train Your Dragon?
Based on how much work Universal has put in to How to Train Your Dragon, just physically bringing that space to life with the Epic Universe park, I think they've got a lot of confidence in it. So
both of these Universal projects.
That's true, and you don't see them announcing a Jurassic Park.
They already have one. They already have not a park, but they already have a segment of their park where you can get attacked by dinosaurs.
They have the one ride.
Sure. And once again, I'm not saying a whole park. I'm agreeing with you in your sentiment but it's definitely visible there in the park. It's definitely an experience that people capture on social media and spread out there. I'm just saying that if you believe what Universal believes in, here's what Universal believes in.
Well, they believe it can make enough money to dedicate an entire section of a theme park to.
I get it. If you're going to go theme park logic on everything, let's talk about Tron, okay? Tron has never been commercially successful. They built a Tron coaster. This next Tron Ares movie, actually, it should have probably been in here. I don't have it in here. Looks like it could actually be the first successful Tron movie ever, financially.
It's possible.
Because it actually looks legit.
I was about to say the other two weren't good, but yeah, they weren't successful.
But no, your point is taken, Tyler. Universal, I think, believes in both of these movies very much, especially since one of them has...
Now, Tron's a special case. I think that just the light cycle thing. It just translates better to a theme park ride than it
Yeah.
could be represented on screen. You could just have that ride not attached to any IP, and it works.
I don't know if we need a Jurassic World reboot so quickly based
I
off
don't
of
know
No.
if we need it either, but I'll
fact
go
that
see
we-
it.
But, you know, what I've heard about How to Train Your Dragon is it's wonderful after you get through the first 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know anything about those movies, and I guess
Yeah.
it's based on a book too. So I'm kind of biased there.
So
And I'll let them beat the dead dinosaur again.
you're going Jurassic World Rebirth. You're going How to Train Your Dragon. Personally, for me, Jurassic World Rebirth, which I'm playing into right now, obviously, is the movie that I have more emotional connection with. But How to Train Your Dragon could be sort of that thing that has everybody buzzing as sort of an event movie and can't wait for the next one. And obviously, they're mining their own IP there, and it looks like it's going to work. Okay, next. These are two movies that rhyme, but they're very different. Are you more excited for F1 or The Naked Gun?
Oh, Naked Gun.
Naked Gun. F1 looks awesome.
Yeah, F1 looks good. I would definitely go see that too. But Naked Gun.
Naked Gun.
I felt like Naked Gun was going to win almost any argument it was in.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, why don't I put it up against something
But there's an asterisk.
completely different?
I this may be a hot take. I don't really think Seth MacFarlane's stuff is really all that funny. I think he's had his moments.
Good for you.
I think he has his moments, but the trailer makes it look like he's gonna hit a home run with it. So I hope it's as funny as the trailer makes it look to be. Because I love The Naked Gun, and I will be offended if it's not good.
I'm not a Family Guy fan,
Yeah, I'm not.
which I've made clear here on the program. It's not like
I don't hate it, but I just don't love it. I don't get it. And what's the Western movie he made?
A Million Ways to Die in the
I
West.
just didn't really think that was. I felt like that movie had a lot more potential to make me laugh, and it didn't.
I actually thought that was one of the funnier movies.
I
The
love Ted.
Liam
this day.
Neeson scene with Ted is, for me, peak Seth MacFarlane. And the fact that we're doubling down on that here with The Naked Gun, I'm excited. Look, The Naked Gun's the right answer here, but F1, that's not to say that F1 is not something we're looking forward to.
Yeah, it's got huge potential.
It's just I didn't know what to pair up against The Naked Gun to where it was like The Naked Gun's not going to win.
Yeah.
Got a quick
Maybe Tron.
chat check-in
Maybe.
going back to Jurassic Park. Smuff says, we've tried Jurassic Park 7 times. 1 really good movie, 1 okay movie, 5 cheeks movies. I'm tired of pretending the franchise isn't vastly overrated.
That's fair, but they all make a vast amount of money. Like they just keep churning out.
Everybody wants to see those dinosaurs.
They make so much money. Like honestly, okay? Jurassic World, Superman, Fantastic Four. Which one? Put those in order of highest grossing to lowest grossing for the month for really throughout its theatrical run. Because you're not going to be dumb to say Jurassic World's going to make more than both of those.
I mean, it could, but I don't think it will. It shouldn't.
What do you think's going to be the highest grossing out of those three?
I think Superman's going to have a pretty mass appeal.
You think so? That could easily be the lowest of the three.
I mean, it could. I mean, if people get there and watch it,
Any
and
of
they're like,
these
"This
could
movie
be the
sucks,"
lowest.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I
mean,
think Jurassic World is like the lock for the movie that
I
will
agree.
make more money than the other two.
I just think it's gonna. They're all three gonna be very telling of the first reactions to it. But
Jurassic
Not
World is the
wrong.
only one of these three that has a track record of making intense amounts of money.
yeah, even
Follow
if,
the history.
Even if the movie's subpar.
Even if the movie's subpar, people love their dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay, next. I'm gonna hurry this up. Do you have somewhere to be, by the way? I feel bad. Okay, I didn't ask that before the show, so I want to make sure nothing's on fire.
You never asked me.
Well, Tyler, I've got you at least until 3:24. Karate Kid Legends or Lilo and Stitch?
Lilo and Stitch.
I'm gonna go see Karate Kid Legends. That's not to say I don't think Lilo and Stitch. It looks, as far as those live action remakes, that looks like maybe the best one so far. But I've got a soft spot for Karate Kid and everything Karate Kid, so that's one I'd go see.
Okay.
Yeah, if Lilo and Stitch can be even second best live action Disney remake, like behind Jungle Book, I'll be very happy with that.
I'm excited to be taking the family to this one the weekend after Memorial Day, but we will have a discussion on that 1 week from today because Tyler's going to do a double feature of Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
And he's going to let us know if both live up to the hype. But Lilo and Stitch, I think, is going to be a massive success, so we will see. Next, 28 years later, or I Know What You Did Last Summer, the reboot that's coming out.
I would go see I Know What You Did Last Summer because I like that franchise better. It's more my speed. It's dumb and it's fast and it's entertaining. And 28 days later, 28 weeks later, they're not bad. They're just kind of slow, almost like watching The Walking Dead but crammed into a movie. Like it feels as long as a season of The Walking Dead in one movie to me, if that makes any sense.
I am so much more excited to see 28 Years Later than I Know What You Did Last Summer, but both could be really good. I think 28 Years Later is cooking with a different pedigree here.
Yeah, completely different movies.
What do you think, Tyler? Which one of these two do you think will be the better experience?
Man, it's tough because I like a good zombie movie, a good post-apocalyptic movie, but I need to go back and watch 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later because I haven't seen them.
They're a slow burn.
I
think.
bet.
Wouldn't you say that, Tim?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Ooh, man! If there was a callback to the "What are you waiting for" scene in the new "I Know What You Did Last Summer," then that's gonna be the one.
I mean, Freddie Prinze Jr. came out of the hole or whatever, so
Tyler got legitimately really excited that Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
shows up.
I think when Carl and I were watching the trailer, I was like, "Oh yeah."
All right,
It's sad.
It is sad. It is sad. Very sad. Next, this is a tough one for all the wrong reasons. Megan 2.0 or Freakier Friday. Which one are you more excited?
Those both look pretty good to me, man. They're both my kind of movie. Stupid entertaining.
Jeff, there's the door. We appreciate you being here on the show today. Thank you so much. You can give me the headset. No, I'm just kidding. What you're excited for both of these movies?
Yeah, I like Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. That's prime, like early 2000s.
I'm not saying that movie's bad, but I didn't pin you as being a diehard Freaky Friday fan.
No, I just, hey, I hope Lindsay Lohan makes a good comeback. And I don't think,
Did not expect this.
other than Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital in that Halloween movie, like she always makes a good movie,
The bad part is that could reference multiple Halloween movies.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital
That's
during
true.
Halloween.
That's true. Well, no, the first time she was fighting, in that last round, she was like just there.
In Halloween 2, which came out in 1981, she
Yeah.
is just sort of in the hospital the entire time.
Yeah.
In
She's got some energy there, though.
In Halloween Kills,
She's not
she's just
bedridden.
kind of in the hospital
That's
the
what
whole
I'm
entire
saying.
time.
She's bedridden or something, right?
She's bedridden in both of the movies.
Is she?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean,
Okay.
she crawls and she
Yeah.
bleeds out and all that stuff. Anyway,
I don't know.
we'll get into that. So, which one of these is going to be the better movie? I didn't realize you were hyped for both of these, Jeff.
What was the other one?
Megan 2.0
Yeah,
or
Megan
Freakier
2.0, yeah.
Friday?
So that Megan 2.0, it could be great or terrible, like because she's teaming up with the other thing,
It does feel Terminator 3 to me.
Terminator 3 or The Hangover 3 or something. Like it's just out of left field. You know what I mean? So like it could be as bad as The Hangover 3, but it could be good. Could be.
I'm going to go into Freddy Krueger voice here. Answer the question, bitch!
I'm going with Megan 2.0.
Okay. Oh, some of the cringiest dialogue in a trailer I've ever seen is Megan 2.0.
Yeah, no. I mean, they both look terrible, but terribly awesome. So,
Tyler,
Oh,
pick one of these two atrocities.
sadly, it's gonna be Megan 2.0.
I'd rather see Freakier Friday. The Megan 2.0 is cringy as hell to me.
Yeah, it is. That trailer looks awful.
Freakier Friday looks like it belongs on Disney Plus. Let's be real.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
They both look like they
surprised
could be
it's
straight
not.
to DVD movies.
Well, I have three more of these, and then we're done.
All right.
But I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The movie Weapons, Zach Kreger, Kids Go Missing movie,
Yeah.
or the movie Together with the couple who's sort of stuck and can't figure out how to depart from one another that is now being sued as being a blatant ripoff, which I feel like is
they can't
lowered,
figure out how to write their own movie either.
allegedly.
It's complicated, looks like to me. But so Together looks very unsettling. And so far, so much that Carla is like, I don't want to go see that. And Weapons looks good, so I'm going to go see Weapons.
Weapons is the movie that you're...
I don't think I could take my wife to see Together, so we're going to go see Weapons.
Okay.
I am also going Weapons. I like the cast.
Does this have to do at all with the lawsuit? Do you feel
No,
like...
not at all.
I feel like it's going to affect people's...
It definitely could, but I'm not sure they... I mean, it is odd that they met with those two about this movie. But I went back and looked that movie up that you can't find a trailer or get the movie or anything, and the movie's like a rom-com.
Did the movie ever get made?
I think it did get made, and it got screened at a festival, but that's the only time anybody's seen it. If what our research was correct.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I guess nobody picked it up because it didn't have Dave Franco and Allison Brie in it.
Right. That makes sense. But I'm high on Weapons.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
Really,
Kinda
really
like
excited for it.
Village of the Damned, Faculty, or was it Faculty? Was it the Faculty that was kind of like that, or was it what was the other one that came out around then? Oh man, I can't think of the name of it. With
to me, it's like it's got a little bit of Prisoners to it with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Where Hugh Jackman can't find his kid and he's like losing his mind.
Yeah.
And he holds Paul Dano responsible, and I feel like that it's got that same vibe here with Weapons. I'm very excited for Weapons.
Yeah.
And I will say it again. I think, Jeff, I was able to get you to watch this movie, but Barbarian. Okay.
Yeah.
You watched Barbarian.
Yeah.
There were parts of it that you thought were pretty intense.
Yeah, it was good.
But Barbarian's one of my favorite horror movies, and please watch it if you haven't gotten a chance before Weapons comes out. Okay. Next. Nobody 2. Do you guys know what the Nobody series is?
Yeah, I like that one.
Nobody 2 or Happy Gilmore 2? Which one of those do you think you'll have more fun with?
I think there's a bigger chance that Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be a flop, but I would still go see that. Like
it's going to be a Netflix movie, so you don't even have to go anywhere.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. But you just never know what Adam Sandler's going to turn out now. Is it going to be great, or is it going to be
about 30 minutes ago on the show? You said your favorite genre is dumb comedies.
Yeah.
And here you are going like, I don't know about Happy Gilmore 2.
Well, I mean,
I'm thinking to myself, like, is there a dumber comedy that's scheduled to come out in the
Hubie Halloween 2?
I'd go see that. Hubie Halloween was great. I don't care what you guys say.
Movie sucked.
I like Hubie Halloween.
I'm a more
Tim's
afraid.
the Hubie hater.
I'm afraid Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be more like anger management or Click than Hubie Halloween.
I liked Click.
I mean, I don't hate it, but it's just like,
okay.
All
right. So we know how you like your Paul Rudd. How do you like your Adam Sandler? What's peak Adam Sandler for you?
Yeah, I like him. Well, I mean, you can't go back. You can't de-age him. So, but I liked him when he was, young and energetic and angry. But I still like him now.
Gotcha.
I mean, the problem with Paul Rudd is it's not that Paul Rudd's old. He's just too happy and too trying to please everybody now. Like, he was better when he was jaded and snarky.
Have you seen the trailer for Friendship?
Yeah. I did see that the other day. That looks pretty odd.
I feel like that may be something that kind of gets you back in the Paul Rudd camp.
It could.
Last one. Are you more excited for Eddington, which just made its Cannes premiere with Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, Austin Butler, Pedro Pascal, where it's set during the pandemic, local small town sheriff?
I didn't know what you were talking about for a second, but I think I did see the trailer for that.
Eddington or Bring Her Back, which looks to be a movie about trying to revive a loved one after dealing with tremendous amount of grief. And we really don't know a ton about either one of these movies narratively. Yeah. They both are going to be a conversation point, I think, at points throughout the summer.
Yeah.
This is the only thing I could find that was sort of like a thematic pairing between these two of like, they're both like, we don't really know a lot about them, but they're both on our radar. Tyler, I know your answer to this.
Yeah.
Bring Her Back.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Because I think Talk to Me is absolutely fantastic. It takes the essence of horror that everybody wants, the sort of deep kind of scares that make you where you get paranoid after you finish the movie and you start, having these legitimate fears and you think about that movie, and it's got some really strong imagery that is disturbing and really sticks with you. Sound design is impeccable in Talk to Me. And plus it's a YouTuber movie. So I like being able to actually champion a filmmaker on YouTube.
I like it. Eddington or Bring Her Back? Which way are you going here?
I'm going to go with Bring Her Back. I think that trailer was more memorable. It's a little unsettling, but I'm with Tyler. It looks like pretty scary. I'm just not really ready to revisit the pandemic, I don't think.
That too.
A lot of people. I got a targeted Facebook advertisement for Bring Her Back that showed me a little bit more of the story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is much stronger than what I initially I was a little bummed out by the trailer. Me and Tyler had a little bit of,
it was a little vague.
watch our trailer reaction, but like I was very much like, hey, if this thing's going to ever get a following, it's going to have to tell something about the story. It can't just be creepy imagery. And on this Facebook ad, I got a little bit more of the story, a little bit more of the like narration from a character in there that made me go,
Okay.
you know, this one's got the visual style that's really good. Like I'm starting to buy a little bit more stock. I'm starting to be like, you know, Tyler may be completely right about this. We're gonna see, but
I don't even want to see any clips of it.
Fair.
Don't send me the
won't.
extended look.
I won't. I'm not gonna send
Thank
you
you.
anything. I know you're excited for this. I haven't even brought it up.
He wants to go in Caddo Lake style.
I wish you would quit referencing that god awful movie. Okay. Anyway. Eddington is my answer, though. It's in my top 10 most anticipated. It was back in December. It still is. It's got a great pedigree. Have you seen Beau is Afraid?
I have not seen that.
I would love to get your reaction to Beau is Afraid one day.
Okay. What year did that come out?
2024?
Okay.
No, it would have been 2023.
That's very possible.
Because I didn't see it. And I saw everything in 2024.
Right. Maybe it was late 2023. Maybe it was like October 2023. But
2023.
there you go. What do you know what month by chance?
Looking at that now,
gonna-
April 21st, 2020.
Jeez, I really messed that up. Okay, April 2023. Beau is Afraid. One of the most memorable movie experiences I've ever had. It is not a movie I like, but it sticks with you.
Interesting.
And I'd love to get your reaction
I
to
want to
it.
watch it now. You said that. Did
It is insane, that movie. It's really crazy.
you see it at the theater? Or?
Saw it in the theater, and I could not figure out how to move my body to get up and leave. Like, that's how... Beau is Afraid is crazy.
Okay.
Has anybody seen Beau is Afraid? I mean, anybody? Nobody? I'm the only person? Maybe the movie doesn't even exist. Maybe it was just a dream I had.
Could be.
Anyway, there we go. Eddington I'm looking forward to just because anything Ari Aster makes, it's memorable. Whether you like it or not, it's jarringly, it just stands out in your brain. So I'm excited to see Eddington. But that is going to do it for us here on the show. Jeff, I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tyler, I hope you also had a good time.
I did.
Great. That is good to know. We will be back with fresh Meltdown content next week. Got a lot of content headed your way over the next 2 weeks. We're looking very forward to that. Make sure you check out mybookie.ag. A lot of things going on. NBA playoffs, NHL, Stanley Cup playoffs are going on. You got baseball going on. Tons of action there at mybookie.ag. Make sure you use promo code next round for that first time deposit bonus there at mybookie.ag. That's going to do it for us here on the Meltdown. Tons of trailer reactions, out of the theater reactions, movie reviews, all here for you on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a fresh piece of Meltdown content.